Welcome to ECED 505. This is going to be a video that's going to walk you through Blackboard, our Blackboard site. Right now it says it's not available to students because I am recording this right before we enroll anybody. So I just want to give you a video to walk you through this site so you know where to find all the information. You should be able to answer almost all of your questions through Blackboard and through all of the resources that are linked. So let's walk through a couple of those. Also, right now mine is in instructor mode, so yours might look a little bit different than what mine does. So homepage, when I send announcements, I do it through here, and I usually click where it says to send an email immediately. So you should get the announcements through your Mason email, but if not, you always want to check the announcements section to see if you missed anything. So every time you come onto Blackboard, make sure you check the announcements section. So you just click on it and you can see what's there. There's a little bit of information about me. Since I'm not just a voice, I actually am a real person. So you can go ahead, again, yours looks different than this, but you can go through and read a little bit about me. Your syllabus is linked here, so you'll always have access to your syllabus. You can print it, you can leave it here, it doesn't matter, but you can always refer back to your syllabus. Your weekly modules. Now, this is a little bit different. I actually may change this term instead of weekly. This is a course that's structured very differently than the way we usually structure our courses. You can take the full semester to do this, but you have to be registered in the course for at least 4 weeks. And then it's self-paced. It's all a self-paced course. So instead of weekly modules, they're just 4 modules. I broke all the information down and collapsed the full 15-week course into 4 modules. So there's a lot of information in each module, but if it takes you 2 weeks to do a module, that's fine. I just wanted to break it down in case you wanted to do it in 4 weeks. This is the structure. And if it takes you longer, a week and a half, 2 weeks, that's fine. As long as you get everything done by the end of the semester, you're good. So there's Module 1, Module 2, Module 3, and Module 4. These are folders of information for each module. On the front of the folder, I put the topics from the syllabus, what we're going to be talking about, what are the course objectives that we're going to be covering, what your readings are, and then what's due. And I have that for each of the modules. So by the time that you finish Module 2, you will have read these chapters and you will have submitted these 2 assignments. And when you finish Module 3, you will have read these additional chapters and turned in these assignments. And Module 4, let's just say you will read the important parts in skim, these chapters, and this is what you will turn in. So that is how the weekly modules are structured. The modules are structured, and when you click into the module, there are individual learning modules for each of the topics that you're going to be studying. So this is the introduction, and again, this is usually taught as a hybrid course, so it says 405, 505. And then this video will take the place of these 3 videos right here. And here's the overview of our syllabus. So there's always information that you can go back to and refer to. So this is the introduction to the course with all this basic information. And then we start getting into the content area. So this is one thing that's really important when you go into your modules. When you go into your modules, do not click on the title. So some of the modules, if they are, or the module pages, if there's a lot of information, they might look like this, and you'll go in and you'll click on it and there's nothing there. So that is not how you work this, that's not how this works. It's not how Blackboard works when you're talking about learning modules. Over here, there's a little arrow, and if it's pointing to the left, then it's closed. If you click it, then the information opens. I try and leave the information on each page open, but sometimes they get too long. So what you'll do is when you open up the module and you come to these module pages, you'll just scan through and read them. Click on the videos. There's a lot of links throughout, so you can click on the links with these websites for additional information. And that's how this information is formatted and available for students. So you're just going to work your way through the individual learning modules. Now, remember I said we're not going to be doing a PLC. You still need to know what a PLC is because you will be collaborating in schools. When you're working in schools, you just won't actually be working in a PLC for this section of the class. So again, make sure that you're checking if the arrow is pointed down, it's open, you're good. If the arrow is pointing to the left, it's not open and you need to click it to get the information. So you're just going to work your way through all of the information in each one of the modules for each of the weekly modules, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So again, a lot of information. You're just going to work your way through the information. And that is how each of these modules is set up. Some modules have a significant number of individual learning modules in them. There's additional resources. There might be additional readings. It looks like a lot of information, but remember, the way it's structured here is a full semester course has been collapsed into 4 modules. So that's why it looks like it's an overwhelming amount of information, because we've just structured it into 15 to 16 week course into 4 modules. But you can take as much time as you need to go through them, again, as long as you finish it by the end of the semester. So those are your modules. That is the content of the course. And that's where you'll be spending most of your time, is on these modules, working your way through all of the content. For each module, there is a discussion board question that you have to do by the end of the module. The first one, please post an introduction so we know who's in this section of the course. Give a little bit about yourself, where you are in your program, where you're working, why you're interested in early childhood special education. That would be great. If you have general questions that cannot be answered on Blackboard or in the syllabus, general questions about the course, post them here and I'll respond. If you have general assignment questions that you think somebody else might have that same question and you can't find the answer in the syllabus or on Blackboard, you can post it here. If it's a question, either of these questions are specific to you, then email me. Don't do it through Blackboard. And then again, like I said, for each module, you're going to have a discussion board question. So the first one is, what do you know about early childhood special education? That's it. And then there's a prompt here about eligibility, 2 to 4 paragraphs, and it needs to be cited. So it's a mini paper, but it's a very short one, 2 to 4 paragraphs. Same thing here, 2 to 4 paragraphs on service delivery, and for module 4, 3 to 5 paragraphs on kind of summarizing what you learned in serving young children with disabilities. So that is your discussion board. There's one for each module, one specific prompt for each module. There are this resources section. This is what I want you to do so you don't have to buy the APA manual since a new one's coming out. Is just use this link, Purdue OWL. It will take you to some basic formatting guidelines for using APA format. It's not perfect, but it will give you enough information to get you through this first class so that you can wait and buy the new edition when it comes out. Here are our basic organizations for our profession: Council for Exceptional Children, Division for Early Childhood, and the National Association for the Education of Young Children. So those will be important for you to know about. Here's some information on IFSPs and IEPs, and there are the forms, the paper forms. So again, just some general information: professional ethics and early childhood education, early childhood special education. These are the specific documents from CEC and NAEYC. There's some of the documents you have to read, but others are linked on the syllabus. And then there's some resources when we start talking about development. So those are just good resources for you to have. So that will be linked in the resources tab. The assignments tab is pretty full. So let me give you a little, again, help you navigate this section. So each folder will give you some specific information. This folder, the field experience folder, and the professional practice project folder, these two are where you're going to submit your assignments. I'm going to move those up so that they're together. This is where you submit your assignments. Right here, this document, again, you can see it's closed. If you open it, I just copy this right from the syllabus, but I'm putting it in another section, so it's all right here for you to see. This is the action. This is all together, all 4 parts of the professional practice project, right from the syllabus. When you're doing your case study and when you're writing your IEP, again, you can pick which disability you want. And we do this as PLCs, I assign them. You can pick, do you want a child who's speech language, somebody with an intellectual disability, somebody on the autism spectrum, or ADHD? You pick, and you'll just read the case study and you can follow the directions for the assignment. But the case studies, again, are for the professional practice project. And then there's some resources. I have made videos about each part of how to do each part of the professional practice project. How do you rate part 1? What do you include? How do you rate part 2? How do you rate part 3? How do you rate part 4? And part 4 is a reflection, so I didn't do an individual video on that, but I do have a video about what to do, how do you put the whole paper together at the very end and turn it into TK20. So watch all those videos. They're very helpful. There's notes about the videos. The sections were different. So now you've got to, and this is actually wrong. I'll change that. It used to be part 1. So make sure that you're listening and following what the syllabus says now and not what the videos are saying, because we've restructured the professional practice project. And then there's some more resources for you to put the project together. So again, just work your way through Blackboard. There's so much information. Sometimes it's overwhelming, but when you have time, go back and revisit it, because I trust me, just about all your questions can be answered here. So when you click into the folders, it will tell you this is where you submit. And again, here's where the approval form is. Here's where the documentation forms are. Right where you submit, you can find all the information you need. When you're ready to submit, you just submit it. You're going to click Browse My Computer, or you're going to browse your computer and just upload. That's all you have to do. You upload your document where it says submit. I have it in red. I have it in uppercase letters. I try to make it as simple as possible for you. So this is where you're going to submit all the pieces for the field experience. This is where you're going to submit all the pieces for the professional practice project. So that's it for assignments. This section right here, assessments, is not open. I will open it after I've had somebody in the course for at least 4 weeks, and I will not open it before that, because I'm afraid you'll submit to the wrong place. Assessments is your TK20 link. So when you're ready to put parts 1, 2, 3, and 4 together and upload to TK20, this is where you're going to do it. Right now, you can't even see this. It will not say assessments, but this is where you will do that. And I think that is about it. This was, again, a quick overview of Blackboard. Take your time, look around Blackboard, work your way through the information, and if you just are overwhelmed, take a step back, take a night off, and come back fresh the next day. If you really are struggling and you just can't find something and you don't know where to start, go ahead and send me an email. More than happy to help. I'm on campus on Mondays and Wednesdays, so I could always meet you one of those days if you are really struggling. Welcome. So glad to have you. I know this is overwhelming. You're going to do great. We're so excited. Early Childhood Special Education needs you, and I look forward to working with you through this class.